Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Cup and welcome to the morning sermon at the Church of the Gooey Death and Discount House of Worship. It's Sunday morning. I think it's December 1st, isn't it? 2024. I slept 8 hours. Most people are well aware of the complete neurological exhaustion of days of just battering winds. That's why I made a video called Hunting Leeward. I'm actually doing pretty good this morning. Had a weird anomaly though I'm trying to figure out. It's too complicated to talk about right now, but it's a lovely morning. It's not really cold. It's especially after getting 8 hours plus, at least 8 hours in the fart sack. I know I was totally horizontal by about 10-20. I was just exhausted. I couldn't even focus on any kind of movie or video, or I was down for the count. Didn't wake up till almost about 7. Yeah, the Sunday morning ladies jogging crew just came through. One of them was real cheerful to me. Well, anyway, and I didn't find out until last night that it may have been my benefactor that left that big non-wind resistant polyester shelled blanket that I think she now knows is in the dumpster. The way she described it, I wasn't sure, but it appears to be. Uh, so, not sure if we've been communicating very well, but I'm have to proceed on the facts, which is her health may be as fragile or more fragile than mine, and especially as because she recently had a relatively minor infection and really had to isolate herself from other people for day. It wasn't respiratory or anything. It was just because she had to take antibiotics for an infection, and so I don't know if that's going to work out. It seemed like my survival was assured for the winter, and in the last few days it's looking kind of iffy. So just straight up, as soon as I get my pain relief in the morning from the pharmacy, I'm trying to gonna establish a camp somewhere around here. There's several locations. I just want to stay away from anywhere where other homeless fucking meth head, alcoholic, no good pieces of shit, trash accumulating, property trashing. It's when I leave this area, it will be spotless, and which is better condition than I found it. It was fucking covered with trash. There was about 1,000 of those little Starbucks, those green stir sticks that also fit right into the hole to kind of hold in the heat. They're all over. I've picked up at least about 1,000 of them because they kind of match the color of the grass. There's still a few in here. They're just all, every time they mow, they just turn up more and more. It's amazing how you climb between eco warriors and stuff, how much you litter and shit. The same people who fucking promote that stuff is some of the biggest litter bugs and shit I've seen in here. Global warming, all this stuff, driving around a fucking 25-year-old car with fucking emissions out through the roof and not willing to. Just throwing trash everywhere. they don't see the contradiction in their behavior and between their behavior and what comes out of their, what comes out of their mouth and what comes out of their fucking hand and car. And oh yeah, I think it's going to warm up rapidly. It was real cloudy at sunrise, but I can see a sign right over there. I'm seeing shadows, so it looks like the sun is trying to break through. I'm blocking the sun with my head right now. It's, I think it's, now I have a pretty good mood this morning because I guess all the wind and the rain and stuff kind of and the lack of wind has stopped all the blowing pollen and dust and stuff that I was reacting to. Actually, my sinuses were pretty clear this morning. Yeah, it took quite a while. Anyway, oh gosh. So I'm assuming, based on what I know, that once again, the University of Texas beat the Aggies' ass last night because I did, thanks to David Farrell, I did have to check on the game. Yeah, at halftime, UT was kicking A&M's ass 17-0, which is pretty typical because the Aggies, despite all their claims of tradition and loyalty and all this stuff and integrity, they're not. They're not. They weren't loyal to me. I'm trying to see if that's on the screen. That's on the screen. And in return, I haven't been loyal to them. They're just like any other university. They're all out for themselves. But like any other university, they're kind of, yeah, college brothers kind of stuff. They, Aggies do tend to hire other Aggies and stuff because we speak the same language. I don't know why I'm getting off on that. Completely fucking drop it. I don't give a fuck about, one of the most historic games because number one, it isn't even on Thanksgiving anymore. It was they held it the day after Thanksgiving. It's supposed to be played on Thanksgiving Day to entertain people while they're having Thanksgiving dinner. We athletes, we play on holidays, just like the, Hindustani, 7-Eleven, owners and clerks and stuff work every freaking holiday because nobody cares about them, about their religious, observations. Mm. Oh yeah, sun's breaking through. That's great because I've been working on this, running off this particular battery for a couple of days now. It charged up pretty hot. I may have to actually put it out for the solar panel here after a while. It's got to be run down a little bit. Yep, sun's breaking through. Great day in the morning. I'm in a good mood because I had 8 hours of no traffic noise, almost complete stillness. I mean, even by the time I laid down, I could tell it's just people were exhausted. It's Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, and then Saturday, all that football and all that feasting and all that booze and drugs and shit. They were ready for it. Yeah, I can tell that's the problem is I'm not actually blocking the sun, am I? There you go. Let's go weird here. Well, the sun's coming up right over there. That's the problem. Let me get an angle to it. Yeah, I'm in a pretty good mood this morning. A couple puffs of weed, and I'd go through the roof. I know what I wanted to talk about when I first started rolling this. I've now been here for about 515 days in Pflugerville. And on this Sunday morning, I want to remind you that I was deliriously happy to be in Pflugerville when I first got here, because the assaultive people, the constant moochers, and that includes, even, yuppie scum would stop and try to bum a cigarette off of an old crippled homeless man because they're I'm trying to quit smoking. They don't want to actually be seen carrying a pack of cigarettes because it's not cool. But they'll sure shit bum one off of anybody that they think might give them one. And I would uniformly tell them to go fuck themselves. I want to remind you here on the 515th day in Pflugerville that I've really enjoyed your hospitality. The vast majority of people here are really wonderful. But at the beginning, I had to deal with just a plague of all the evangelicals targeting me. It made my life a living hell. And that was, as I was trying to tell my benefactor last night, is that for 15 days now, it's 14 less, that other people here have been trying to make my choices on what goes on my body, say couldn't they, and what goes in my mouth, instead of giving me an option, or even the option just say, you should have asked first, that no, I don't want it. No, take it away so I don't have to carry it to the dumpster. Because Friday morning, I had to carry what was really about a 6-pound, very large, bulky, and I actually had to use, both arms to carry that bulky item, which had absolutely no wind resistance whatsoever. None. That was, low thread count polyester. It's great indoors, but outside, absolutely useless. So at first, I was plagued by every, Christian trying to get brownie points for bringing souls to Jesus, especially a Jew. Oh boy, you get 10 brownie points if you can bring a Jew to Jesus. And people just trying to get. It was really stressful. It's still stressful. This Thanksgiving, I was just so happy that the first Thanksgiving here was just a plague of people that had recognized the fact that I'm a quiet, well-behaved person, and they were trying to show the generosity of the community. And every one of them just brought nothing but endless frankenfood. All of it had some kind of. And the little bit I accepted made me ill. It really. And you're still trying to just burden me with too much shit. I've got it down. Like right now, I've got my profile looking pretty good, and it's all black bagged up and stuff. And I got it to where people, like if you're like the homeless meth head that walked up here from Austin during the night or whatever, you just came down this street, you can barely tell at a distance, even from when I was heading back here. I'm going like, yeah, I did a good job. I try to keep my profile low here. There's not. I hate right now having to spread out like this away from the tree, but they irrigated again last night. They irrigate, Friday night and Saturday night. And so it's a muddy mess over there. It'll take hours for it to dry up, and I might as well sit here in the sun with my back to the sun, get good and warm and stuff, and keep the mud off my shoes. It's just a pain to keep mud off of anything. It's in a few hours it'll be dry enough to. I see no problem with sitting here with my eyes not facing the sun, and also not having to. I just chose that spot because nothing was growing there, and there weren't any ants until I opened up that fucking drain. Forgive my little language. I'm probably going to mark this public, but do want to remind you that while the majority of people in Pflugerville have been very nice to me and stuff, but the vast majority of you have tried to take away my right to choose what I wear. You know, if I'd accepted the clothing items that you had given me, which none of them fit anyway, if they could fit, I would look like some sort of court jester. And what do they call that? Party colored. I'd have like 100 different colors on my body. If I accepted all the uncoordinated, ugly looking, doesn't fit me crap that you've tried to give me. Some of y'all have got a taste towards really bright and neon kind of colors and shit. You know, I don't like that. I don't like to stand out. I stand out enough naturally because I'm a tall man, big man. I get all the attention I've gotten all the attention I wanted since I was a child without having to revert to any sort of clothing, special clothing, or adornment, or hairstyles. You know, I don't need those to get attention. Let me try to block that. That's better. So I want to thank those people who have been generous. Last month, y'all were very generous again. Yeah, and I really saved almost every penny that you gave me. That's what a lot, Yeah, sun's breaking through. It's burning off. It was totally overcast this morning. Overcast is what held in a little bit of warmth that was accumulated yesterday. Today is supposed to be up in the 70s. I was going to make one observation. As I can tell, you people who are not from here and stuff like that, you're still running around like it's Southern California. I see them. You getting out in your yoga pants and your crop top and your flip flops, and I can just tell that you're used to a warm weather climate. You just don't want to address, you know, a native Texan would be this morning wearing at least a light jacket, long sleeves, long pants, and shoes, not yoga pants, a crop top, and flip flops. Just tell me right off the bat that you're not from here. You know, as an old guard or original Texan, I have a right to kind of defend Texas. You're trying to turn Texas into California, and I have nothing but a mouthload of vulgarities for you. I think I'm going to rank this video as PG-13. Yes, I managed to keep myself fairly non-vulgar this morning. You can drop the occasional. They just want to control your speech. They want to do the newspeak thing where you can't say, the word for unalive or it's the word for sexual assault, sexual battery, actually, technically, sexual assault. You're not supposed to say that word because it makes the victims feel bad for some reason. I mean, that's what happened. They've actually changed it in the law too. They don't call it that anymore. They do call it sexual assault. Because there's a broad spectrum. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have, especially with me having to fight the sun getting in on the act here. Just remember, I just want you to remember, good people of Pflugerville, that y'all have pissed away enough money for all these doodads, knickknacks, bric-a-bracs, frankenfood, garbage that I don't and can't and won't eat and stuff to have housed me while I waited on surgery that will never, this ain't going to happen. It's not anytime soon. And that's actually standard for my age. Yeah, it's unless you're rich. See, this is where the basis of the class envy and class hatred comes from, is things like this. Like I had a classmate, Adrienne, I'm going to confuse her with the actress. I almost said Adrienne Barbeau, but it's actually Adrienne. It's with a Dutch name, and just because her firstborn, her daughter, had really serious health problems, and although her dad like worked for the government or for lobbyists or something, and she'd come from the wealthy. She come from a family that was uh, wealthy, technically wealthy, the top 10% in the country. That's stinking rich. Living in a very nice house in Belmont, California. How those houses now are worth multiples of millions of dollars, depending on where they are in town. The location, location, location. And she turned into a hardcore. Actually, when I tried to friend her to, and we were good friends in high school. And when I attempted to friend her through Facebook, she just goes like, "No way, it's not going to happen. You're conservative. I'm a raging liberal and stuff." And then she gave me her whole spiel about her about her daughter. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that I'm not going to let the failure, because I understand that this current system has been primarily shaped by Democrats. This bureaucracy was largely created by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the commie lover who got in bed with Joe Stalin uh, for some good you know, loving, so that they could pull off World War II. Don't forget, the communists used to be our allies. And FDR was a straight up dictator, just exploded the size of government and all this stuff. So I'm not blaming anybody immediately. I know that the problem goes back to things like the Works Progress Administration, the Civilian Conservation Corps, the Social Security Administration, all this bloated bureaucracy that was really meant only to recruit and hire and employ and reward people who vote Democrat and don't really give a shit about their fellow man. Yeah, I'm gonna remind you, you're dealing with a 70-year-old man who can barely do cleanup on aisle 2 or bathe himself and change. I've been in this town for 515 days, and everybody tells me that they care about me, and they've spent enough money on doodads, knick-knack, and bric-a-brac and junk food to have housed me. There's been no concerted effort. Everybody wants to be separate in their giving, and then still give me shit that I don't need, don't want, can't use, won't fit me, would make me sick. Y'all still insist on it. Yesterday, how many times was it in total? I think it was 4, 5, attempts to deliver, or offered. One was actually 4 attempts to deliver food, and one asked, no, 2 or 3 that asked me if I wanted something. So it was around 6 or 7 attempts to just piss away more money. Yeah, it makes me a little upset to realize that I could have been housed this whole time and be in much better shape. With the amount of generosity I've seen, the problem is y'all are split into like the green-haired camp. That's the new hair color now, the Jill Stein Green Party stuff. I saw a scruffy looking, I think it was a woman, I'm pretty sure it was a woman. You could tell that she probably does work at home, overpaid yuppie scum. Got out, just looked all bedraggled. It was about 10:30 in the morning. You can tell she just woke up, been up all night gaming or doing something. Hair is a mess, neon green hair, and just somebody just absolutely doesn't give a shit about their appearance whatsoever. And they got money. It's one thing if you're on the streets and you let your appearance go, but when you got money and you're, but that's the new color. It's green is taking over from blue. It's seen a clear trend. Blue hair tinting is almost gone. Now the new color is green. You can see the new hair dye colors is that neon green, party green. I'll let you go now. 26 minutes is enough for the first cup. I need to go ahead and make myself a second one. I just want to remind you that I'm appreciative of the people who have treated me well here. But so many of you have had these delusions that you're going to convert a Jew to Christianity, a true blue Jew, or these delusions that I'm going to eat what you eat, when even Harvard says that what you eat is pure poison. It's amazing how many people I've met that put on airs or put on of being educated or intelligent, and when I speak to them, they're not. It's amazing how many, I'm going to say this as a final, it's amazing how many people have come to try to, including like the other day, yesterday or something, the day after Thanksgiving, that would have been Friday, the young Hindustani Christian boy who came to try to teach me about Jesus and give me a little tiny little box of, of Thanksgiving leftover food. And that was in his, I know that was his mother that came back later doing the interrogation shit. I knew that was a hostile interrogation the other day. I commented on it. That woman was up to no good. Yeah, that's one of the problems here is there's this real seedy, bad gossip, which I got to do. Y'all got ratted out a long time ago. Even Tide and Wind, the Vietnamese comedian dude here, made a rap song. That was his first rap song, included talking about how your neighbors gossip and they can do it privately through direct messaging, private messaging. This is a town full of gossips. I've been the subject of a lot of that gossip, and I don't give a shit. Gossiping about me just proves that you don't have a freaking life. That's what it proves. That's what that woman was doing. She wanted to get some more gossip for the rumor mill. No. Remember, I carry pepper spray. Don't get too close to me. I would suggest you stand 10 feet off. Especially if you start trying to talk any kind of religious or political nonsense to me, or start getting aggressive towards me. I wouldn't do that. Remember, this is Texas. This is the home of self-defense. I'm a real person in the real world. I have a right to defend myself from your fucking craziness. I really appreciate and want to thank all those people who have been genuinely kind to me. There are a lot of y'all. But there's also a bad element here. You got to remember that there's usually always a fly in the pudding, Pflugerville ain't perfect. It's a great place, but it's far from perfect. And it's getting worse all the time. It's going straight up SoCal, baby. Multicultural diversity. And if that food that was brought to me came from Ethiopia, no wonder why they're starving to death in Ethiopia. Ugh. I may tell the story of Flippins Reuben later to kind of let the black community here know that we're actually family, you and I. You may not like how that came about, but that's what your own people started. I don't want to hear any bullshit about it. You know, it's God, it looks like a gorgeous day. I'm going to have another cup of tea. Tired of fighting with that sun. Just remember, y'all pissed away enough to have housed me and would have facilitated the whole thing, and I would have gotten better treatment. But no, when it comes to persons with penises that aren't, you know, weird, you know, y'all still, the one thing, Texas thing that y'all do is that men are expected to suffer in silence and just go away and die while we take care of the gyno-Americans, uh, gyno-Americans with children. So that's it. This is the morning cup. I'm out. I'm sure University of Texas kicked A&M's ass last night, and I'm glad they did. I doubt the Aggies could pull out, because they would have needed at least 18 points at halftime. They weren't even on the scoreboard at halftime. And the Aggies deserve it. They've been just pulling, even ever since I left them, the shenanigans at A&M just keep getting worse and worse. And the faculty has gone straight up, almost pure cultural Marxist. The students tend to be classical liberals, conservatives, but the staff has really been all just invaded by the worst kind, Jewish cultural Marxists. That's the worst type. Because, you know, to be a Jew and to back an atheistic, anti-religion form of government is fucking just insane. Y'all have a good Sunday morning. And here's our blessings here from the Church of the Gooey Death and Discount House of Worship. Drop on by. We'll save your soul for less. See you later.